It's me, Vera, here to remind you that this is an adult podcast. That means we're going to deal with tough topics. Take a break if you need it, and be kind to yourself, because we sure won't be.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Crack Crown Season 2 of Vampire the Masquerade V5 Edition podcast. As always, I'm your storyteller, Mike Martin, joined by three of my wonderful players today, Scott, Mark, and Jason. Hello.
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 Hello, hello.
Three wonderful coterie members split across time. Kind of where we left off with each of you, as the last time Vera was here was a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to jump in, and we will jump right in. So let me just get some stuff out of the way real quick, the usual. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching, wherever it is you're taking in this content. Wherever it is you are listening, drop us a review. Something I don't say enough. It does a lot for us, especially on Spotify. Spotify is very YouTube in that it has an algorithm now. So if you want to help us out, that's a great way to do it. Sharing the show with people, sharing the show with friends. And also, if you just want to go above and beyond, you can head over to patreon.com/podbynight, where you can directly support us for a myriad and a bevy of little benefits and stuff, including little community events. We finished one a couple of weeks ago, which was awesome. It was like a shovelhead event and stuff. And I think it went well enough where like that stuff's going to be coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, we took a lot of feedback. I think Bub took a lot of feedback, and it was
our first time doing something like that.
It was the first time doing something like that. We took some feedback. We've got some really exciting new ideas that are coming and are going to make it easier to participate versus harder. So that's very exciting. And for our long term, text our peers in our Discord. You got a little something coming too. That's going to be new and fresh and different. So everybody gets a little something. So stick with us. They're going to get a little extra. Immersion? I'm going to call it immersion.
I think, is that the thing that was previewed, that it was in our little secret?
Yeah, in our secret meeting.
Okay, yeah. I know exactly what it is. Yes, I actually saw that today. I was like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be chill if I can figure it out. So it's coming. Some new stuff.
Cool. Well, we'll leave it at that then. And then obviously our Discord is a community totally free for you guys to join. That, like I said, I want to get us over those 1,000 members. We're almost there. Just get us there. 1,000 people who listen to our stuff and actively talk on Discord. It's really freaking cool. Having a community that big is very rare. So thank you guys for being a part of it. With that all said, let's play the game, shall we? It's about time we pick up where we left off and see what all this has been about. So without further ado, let's set the scene, rein things in, and see what our coterie has been up to. And as our vision comes in, that of myself, the storyteller, and those of our listeners and viewers, what we see is difficult for our minds, shall we say, to process entirely. What we see is a familiar room with those gray bricks that line a rather old archway into a room with a velvet curtain that leads to a very elaborate resting place for a kindred, snugly sat underneath the Blackstone Hotel. And we see a man with gray and black hair and a beard rather neatly trimmed, standing in front of multiple things simultaneously. One stands in front of a painting that hangs at the foot end of the resting place for the kindred, where a landscape that seems empty beyond that simply sits. Two others, about 5 feet apart, facing 45 degrees about away from each other, both seem to be having conversations with individuals. As our vision continues to clear up, we do see both of those sets of individuals. On the left, Vera and Sean. And on the right, Max and Robert. They, however, do not notice one another. Only us that can see both of them existing simultaneously, for Vera and Sean, as far as they've been able to piece together, are in the 1920s, when the hotel is still under construction, or final construction rather, where Max and Robert are in the 1960s, well after the hotel's been fully completed and seems to be bustling with activity. Both of them have asked similar questions, but the last one we heard with Vera was simply her letting him know that she was a future proprietor. And the last words from his mouth was, "I know." Robert and Max, you of course hear this individual say "I know" because you can see all the different versions of himself just like we can. You simply cannot see Vera or Sean. and you cannot really hear them, though you did hear a bit of a whisper of what you believe to be Vera's voice at the end of last episode. And so that one that faces 45 degrees away, about 5 feet away from the one you're conversing with, simply says, I know.
Then why do you seem so surprised that I'm here?
There is a overwhelming cacophony of whispers that seems to drown out any sort of noise within this room, this chamber, shall we say. Max and Robert hear the same. A cacophony of whispers that seem to just emanate from nowhere, deafening you from anything else. But the figures, this gentleman doesn't move, doesn't react. His head tilts a tiny bit, and then it turns to face the one that's 5 feet away, and Max and Robert, yours does the same. They seem to have a conversation, but their voices are entirely mute. You don't know what they're saying. You can just see them talking. Do you do anything, Vera, Max, or Robert? This is extremely baffling, obviously.
Hey, what the hell? I'll give lip reading a shot.
It's definitely going to be an intelligence as your base stat.
Great. Awareness?
Yeah.
I put that one out because I've got dots in it, so...
yeah, no, I mean, it's not a bad... I'm just trying to, academics doesn't make sense to me. Investigation might be a better one because you're really focusing on the lips. Insight, intelligence, insight.
You could also consider it a specialty stealth roll or a streetwise, people that read lips.
See, streetwise I was thinking too, but I actually...
I got streetwise.
I really like the intelligence insight. It helps to bridge the need to actually be like reading, but also the intonation and the way the lips are what is trying to convey.
Intelligence insight, eh? Well, I don't know why I'm the guy trying this, but...
Well, you're not, it's a passive thing. Max doesn't know he's actively trying.
Let's see what 2 dice can do, I assume.
Anybody who has that idea is welcome to make that roll if you would like. But.
Difficulty 2?
Yeah, difficulty 2. More like difficult.
2 dice on difficulty 2. Let's see how that does.
Yeah, no, there's a moment where we see Max, he probably has an idea. He leans in a little bit, squints his eyes, furrows his brow, and kind of looks like he's saying poop fart a whole lot.
Hey, Robert, and he sort of elbows Robert in the ribs you any good with reading lips? Because I ain't.
Not much better than you, but I can give it a try.
Intelligence insight, Senor Robert.
1.
With 1 success, Robert, you do not. You even lean in, you maybe tilt your head and tap your foot, and you're trying, and no, you just don't. Wait, did he say cinnamon roll? That can't be right.
I do. No, do they appear to be apparitions of some sort?
They look very solid.
Do they see us?
Yeah, at least the one you were talking to that seems to know you're there, that turned to talk to the other one. And after a few moments, the conversation ceases. And when you say, why are you surprised to see me? Not the one that you were talking to, Vera, but the one that's 5 feet away that would be talking to Max and Robert actually turns to you and says, I'm not.
Then do us both a favor and tell me how to get home. I turn around and I go, Sean, tell him.
As you turn around, you realize the silence from Sean is for a reason.
What?
He's not there.
Well, my question stands. How do I get home?
One that was speaking to you turns to Robert and Max, and he looks to Max. Now, Max, do you say anything to because you don't hear Vera, so you don't know a conversation is happening. What did the two of you, Robert, Max, do you say anything? What do you do in that same time?
As he turns back to us, Max is saying to Robert, so, did you get anything out of that? Because all I got was poop fart, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't that.
Well, then, yes. Deducing what you have determined, I must think that he eats too many cinnamon rolls, and that makes him poop and fart.
Cinnamon rolls? Where'd that come into? As he turns back to us, Max just says directly to him, hey, fella, were you saying poop fart back then? Or cinnamon roll? Because we've got a bit of a discrepancy here in what we were picking up.
He does not say a goddamn... He doesn't reply to you at all to that. He simply stoically stares at you.
And Max will just sort of in his face, snap his fingers and just hello, you here with us? You somewhere else?
Sometime else.
Huh. Okay. So, all these yous that we're looking at, they're all in different times? Is that what's going on?
There's a genuine look of, I don't want to say surprise, but the fact that you so nonchalantly kind of put it forward after so many over eons have never been able to understand. does seem to catch him off guard a little bit.
Hey, don't look so surprised. I read a lot of comic books.
and he goes, in a manner of speaking, yes. Vera, on your right, the guy never replied to you, but you see the guy on the right having and you hear just his end of the conversation. So you heard some time else, and then you heard, in a manner of speaking, yes.
Well, since his conversation is going nowhere fast, I look around this room, his abode, that becomes our abode.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a chair, the chair, his desk chair, his throne, a signifying, his spot? Because I want to go sit in it.
Yeah, there is absolutely. So you have on your right-hand side, behind the velvet curtain, you have the big resting place. But a little bit forward ahead of that, in the filling up in the further ends of it, yeah, there's absolutely like a giant, a canvas, like a giant painting easel. That's what I'm looking for. A big easel with a canvas and some sort of, there's nothing, it's far from finished. It actually looks like it's just, he seems to have just started.
But this seems to maybe be a special spot for him, yep?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Yeah, this is where
there's maybe a chair in which he sits to paint?
You actually do not see a chair, no.
Oh my God. I will go over and judge his painting, or the beginnings of it. I'm trying to get his attention. I need him to focus. I don't care where he is in time.
Sure.
I need him to focus, or we're not getting out of this little... Yeah, I'm now all alone, so I stomp over, and the whole time I'm muttering about fucking Sean under my breath. Of course he ditches me just in time for things to get weird. And I stomp over and I take a look, and I don't even care if he notices. So, I'm just going to stand in his space. I just want to take up his special spot.
Does Vera actually give a shit about what this painting might be? Does she want to make a roll at all to see if she can tell?
I guess
you are a Toreador. Just keep that in mind. But you're also at a 4 hunger, which is also a problem.
That's true, which means I just won't use any will. Oh, it could be a problem.
Well, if there's blood, for sure.
You know what? She's already feeling hangry. Very hangry. This whole thing was not supposed to happen. We were just on a simple tour. Everybody's left me. Now I'm in some tiny, strange space. So Vera's very upset. And she just kind of goes over to a space and stands in it. And just sees if he notices. I want both of them focused to see if she can break the repetition pattern of every other.
As you watch, as you step away and get immediately into a space, you turn to look at the two of them. Within a moment, while the two of them don't move, another is standing inches behind you. And you simply hear his voice echoing and distorted, wavy. It's hard to give it actual definition. And he says in your ear, home. And a hand is outstretched. That same thing is said to both Max and Robert as a hand is outstretched to both of you. As the two that were speaking stop, they both turn to you, and each one extends a hand.
Home. Well, there's no place like it.
That's what I hear. All right, fella. Listen, before we get all handshaky, maybe you can answer me a question. These other yous we was talking about, they were all talking to different people, and you said in different times?
While he doesn't vocally acknowledge, he does tilt his head enough and give a very subtle nod and acknowledgement. You're not sure if that's exact, but it seems to be good enough of an interpretation of what's happening for him to just say yes.
Okay, all right. I don't suppose that in these other times, two of the folk you're talking to might be, really pretty lady, but kind of in a scary way, and skinny kid kind of looks like a junkie dressed up for a job interview.
He does respond, and he simply says, again, his voice as well, also no longer so stable, no longer sounding of a man, but one that seems to be broken, scattered, non-defined, and seemed to be, again, wavy is the best way. And he does respond instantly, simply saying, Vera Volkov, future proprietor of the Blackstone Hotel. The other one turns when he says that, and he goes, impossible. And the one that says it to you turns back to him and goes, inevitable.
Okay, so Vera's here, or somewhere, or somewhere.
One that seems to be standing over by the easel that you didn't actually realize was there until this very moment says, yes.
Okay. Max looks over to Robert. Well, He's extended the hand of friendship. The question is, do we take it?
Well, the real question is, do we have any choice?
Nah. I've always been a let's see what happens next kind of guy, so fuck it, let's see what happens next.
And Max will take his hand. Robert, do you take his hand as well as you watch Max go, all right, fuck it, and he just grabs his hand?
Yes, I do.
Vera, do you?
First off, Vera has a thing about personal space and touch. It has intruded upon all of that in 30 seconds. And she says, well, I've got you in my personal space. From one toreador to another. I promise I'll take care of your painting. But since we're going to have to clearly share this hotel, you should know a little something about me. I don't like to be touched.
The hand remains extended, and there is no change in his expression.
But on the occasion, when business is to be done, I will shake on it, and I will take his hand.
And as all three of you do, the world around you fractures, layers itself. You see, almost as though the floor drops out from under you, but the floor is still underneath you, but you can see another version of this room sat almost mirroring below you. And it does the same thing above you, almost in a kaleidoscope fashion. And you feel the rush of being yanked from 0 to 100 in a direction for both Robert and for Max, forward, for Vera, backward, as you slide to the center of the room uncontrollably, as you watch the worlds blur, colors begin to separate. You see rainbows on the brick itself, and as it all begins to become chaos that you can no longer discern, it all slams together in an instant. The room is solid and whole again, and you are next to each other, Vera, Max, and Robert.
Oh.
Hey, Vera, what's the rumpus?
You're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to rescue me.
As you look around and take it all in, the room has not changed an inch, and the painting is still lacking that figure that you saw initially, Vera. But in the center of the room, you see Father.
Oh.
However, Max, in the center of the room, you see Gustav, no father. And Robert, in the center of the room, you see your sire. Not Gustav, nor father.
What's he doing from Max's perspective?
Looking at you with a wry smile, one that you've learned to fear when you were younger, hate when you were older, that of a plan enacted success.
Gustav, you piece of shit. How'd you manage to wriggle out of that one, huh?
You don't hear this conversation, Vera or Robert. What do you say? Vera, you see Father looking at you with a mix of pure pain and sorrow, and that of excitement of seeing somebody that he once loved.
Oh, that's the look on his face?
Yep. Emotional. Ordered joy.
I don't say to him. I just whisper to myself. I just tip my head down so my hat covers my lips, and I say, God, he's like a bad STD. I cannot get rid of him.
Robert, your sire stands before you, and the look on her face is that of guilt. It's the only look you can pull. She looks upon you, and all you see is guilt. A quivering of her lip and the building of a crimson bead at the corner of her eye. But she says nothing as well.
Well, my dear, it seems your good deeds may have finally penetrated the inner part of your soul. Then again, I don't even know if this is you or simply a vision.
And as you say that, Robert, suddenly every little bit of conversation that you've had, it plays out. Vera first, saying what she said to Father, then Max, and then Robert. And while they happened in order, it's as though you couldn't really react until they were all done. And again, and for this moment, Max, it probably feeds into your assumption, thanks to comic books, that time is still a little bit broken at the moment.
Huh. Okay, I'm guessing we're not all seeing Gustav standing there like a fucking... All right. Good idea wearing his face if you wanted to get under my skin.
That's not Gustav, that's father.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing Gustav, and they managed to get that annoying little smirk of his just right.
I know, he's got that stupid look of pity, as if I'm supposed to care that he loves me.
Nah, that ain't what
What
I'm
do you see, Robert?
I see my sire looking guilty, which is something she never did.
What is this?
Well, I know Gustav is dead and dusted, because I done it myself.
Okay, what, so it's a puzzle? We're supposed to see the thing we hate the most?
As you say that, perhaps waiting, hoping that there be a clue, you don't have much time to react. As father, or Catherine, your sire, or Gustav, depending on who you are, clears the distance between you and him in a matter of a second. A dust and a bit of a burst of wind happen only after he's inches in front of Max. Max, I need you to make me a dexterity athletics check as he takes a swing, takes a surprise round. Father looks like father to you, and it looks like Catherine to you, but they're all coming at Max, basically. 3 successes. You're going to take a total of 4 damage. I'm going to negate one of those because of the one I rolled. And as he dashes forward, catching you off guard.
So that was 4 damage?
4 damage, yep. Not aggravated, though, just regular.
And my aggravated is gone now. And I assume take off 1, is it 1 or 2 for the flak jacket?
Take off, for the flak jacket, 1. Take off 1. Cool. So you're going to take off 2 total. So you're at 3. You're going to take 3 damage.
Cool. Gotcha. Boom!
So that distance is closed in an instant. And as he appears in front of Max, that's when the burst of wind seems to catch up with him. And without realizing it, you realize that you see his fist has already made contact with the center of Max's body as Max gets sent flying back 10 feet. Max, you can make me a dex athletics check again. This is not for a defensive roll, but combat is initiated. You are with 3, having been sent back 10 feet, you do not get knocked prone. You maybe tumble a bit, but you're able to take that momentum and kip up onto your feet before hitting a wall or being prone for your round. Again, a little bit of dirt and dust around you and your jacket. Once again, God damn it, you just had this thing clean not too long ago. But now you stand and you see Gustav wearing that proud smile as he stares at you with his fist still held outstretched from the impact nigh a moment ago.
All right. Yeah, you hit pretty hard. I know you ain't Gustav, but I didn't get to do this with my bare hands last time. So let's try it on for size now. As he will attack.
Rush forward and attack. Okay. What about you, Vera, and you, Robert?
I kind of stand there for a second. I look at Robert as the other Toreador in the room, and I said, should we let him handle it?
Father was not that strong. Your sire could have been that strong, but she never showed it. It's just her age.
Now that combat is initiated, do they still look like our people?
Yep. You are all seeing your version of whatever this thing, person, kindred is. You're not sure.
Shoot first, ask questions later.
Okay. So since you're doing ranged combat, Vera, are you going to hold your turn, or are you going to do anything?
I am. I think I'm actually going to... This is like Inception. I'm going to use premonition inside the mess up from a premonition.
All right. And you're forcing a premonition, which is a rouse check.
Oh, damn. You're right. I can't do this. I mean,
you can. It won't put you in a torpor. It won't put you in a torpor, but it will put you at 5 hunger.
You're at 4 hunger.
It's the next hunger dot after 5 that torpors you.
I'm trying to figure out, maybe this isn't something we can beat with our bare hands. Like, maybe, is this a life lesson we need to learn? Or is this thing going to trick us and kill us all in Mirror Dimension? So... I
see what you're doing. Yeah, premonition would definitely help, I think, but you're not quite sure. You're not sure what the thing is, you don't know what you're dealing with either fully. You're taking a stab in the dark. And it did look like it very for real hit Max and very for real did damage. You felt your bones go.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like we could use a leg up. You know what? What's the worst that could happen?
So that's what you're going to do?
I am.
So first, now that I know what you're all going to do, ranged combat happens first. So Robert, you take a step back. You pop your pistol out of your, I'm assuming, do you have it in a holster or do you have it tucked into your pants at all times?
It's in a holster inside my vest.
Okay, then your side, yeah. So you pull it out. Do you step back? Do you put any more space between them, or do you just kind of take it from where you're at? You're like, I'd say 5 feet from them.
Yes, I step back to make sure that I get my proper bonuses.
You gonna make me a yes, exactly. Dexterity firearms check. Do you have a specialty in pistols? Oh, beautiful. Let me mark this. So yeah, you collide for 5. And where were you? So as you take a step back, you pull your pistol out. And when I know we've seen this before, but refresh our memories. When you fire, is Robert a one-handed pistol user? Does he use both hands to like stabilize? What kind of form does Robert take?
He's a one-handed bandit.
He's one-handed bandit. Does he have like flourish with it as well?
Absolutely.
He's a goddamn Toreador, so of course he does.
I hold my left hand up to steady myself. Makes absolutely no sense. Firearm experts would be just livid with me.
But you fire off a few rounds and they make solid contact. You can see the momentum of the bullet hitting as the body lurches forward, dealing 5 damage to this individual. Moving over then, it would be to Premonition, would be Vera.
I'd like to bargain with this. So here's the thing.
I'd like to bargain
about Premonition, right? It is technically marked as both a free or a rouse check.
Mm-hmm. I know.
So you're going to make me rouse for this, aren't you? This one. There's no way for me to do it free?
This is one of those things where I don't see an avenue where this is like a thing that it just kind of like comes to Vera as much as she's trying to put together a puzzle and trying to say, well, this might work.
And I'm so frustrated. I'm so hungry. Okay, you're right. All right. I'm going to rouse.
It's very, and actually, now that you fucking mention it, as the bullets hit the goddamn, you do see Vite. I do need a hunger frenzy resist, please.
5.
You critted?
I critted on it.
You're fucking, you see it, and there's a moment where you're probably like, you feel like that, you know when anxiety hits out of nowhere and you feel the sinking of your stomach? There's probably that feeling and you're like, no, it's a less than a second of a second that it happens. You're fine.
Vera is so angry. It's at a level of anger where you become productive.
Sure.
You know? And she's like, ugh, this is gonna hurt. And she reaches over and she rips, because you know all of her premonitions are pain-based, so she rips one of the fingernails from her left hand.
And we actually get we're probably at an undershot, at an angle when looking up, and when you rip, it just goes to stark black background, but a red silhouette of your body as we see spatter of blood as you rip it.
And that blood was the last that I used in my body to make this happen.
You're at 5 hunger. There's nothing else you have to roll. You have to roll a difficulty check,
and I can only use my resolve aspects on this, and I cannot rouse again to add any dice.
No,
but
you
I
cannot.
can willpower.
But you do have willpower if you need it. Yeah.
Just making sure I got all my options available. So 2 successes
for your premonition. And so so you rip your fingernail off, and do you touch the ground? Do you do anything, or you just kind of close your eyes and let the pain kind of take you and see if pain reveals truth, essentially. So you probably close your eyes for a moment, not because it hurts enough to close your eyes, but just because it's never fun to watch your own blood spill across the ground, especially with the moment kind of mindset you're in right now. And as you do so, and you open your eyes, the world once again breaks. You see very similar, where it layers upward and downward. But as you look over to Father, where he stands after having lurched forward from taking a couple of shots, what you see is Father and Gustav and Catherine within inches, almost on top of each other, layered out as though you would separate colors of a rainbow in a way. Still just very close to each other, very on top of each other. But all 3 of them are there, moving in synchronicity. You are not revealing the Toreador. You're looking at least some sort of actual physical manifestation of these people. Separated what you would imagine is in fractions of time.
Yeah.
You can see them because it's only on a wavelength it's made for you kind of thing.
They're like 3 pieces of a pie. In essence, in a way. Okay. Like a Venn diagram in a certain way. Okay.
Yeah. When you win solitaire, when you get all those cards, like that. But there's 3 of them, that close.
Can I deduct in this moment, or deduce in this moment, whether or not that means that there are 3 things that need to be beat, in lack of a better term, or we can rip them apart. They need to be ripped apart, or restacked, even if you're going with the card deck analogy.
Yeah, you can give me an intelligence occult check.
That's not so hot, but you know what? What's the worst that could happen? My frenzy. A messy critical. All you come to you realize that they are clearly separate and individual in some way. Whether they're actual thems
or weird representations of them or them's ripped from another time. It's hard to know, but you are certain that they need to be removed. And as far as you can, the best with a messy critical, that means killing them.
Wonderful.
Which leads to the moment of Max running forward and taking a swing.
As he does so, Max says, like, well, gotta say, pal, if your whole goal was keeping your head on your shoulders, that is the wrong fucking face to wear. Yeah! As he swings.
Go ahead and give me a strength brawl check first. Remember, your ability to add happens. Okay, so you're going to have a total of five more successes added onto that, correct? Because you have the
potence.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you hit 3. So I'm going to roll, and if you succeed, then you do an additional 5.
I can get some additional successes through willpower.
You could willpower it right now if you wanted to. Yeah, reroll 3 of them. Another success. So 4 total. I am rolling 70, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4. I give ties to the player. So you will add an additional 5. So you're going to do 5 more damage to him, which is taking 5 from the bullet, then 5 from you. He's moved into aggravated. And so so we watch Max, we dash forward, and where do you level this punch? Are you going right for the face, like right for the jaw?
This is right for Gustav's smirking face. And that thing I said about taking his head off his shoulders. So yeah.
So what we see is Max leaps forward as well. While it may not be as fast as we saw Gustav / Catherine / Father do it, it's still impressively quick, closing that distance in less than a second. And as you kind of finish closing that last few inches of distance, you see your hand get raised, and from a top-down swing, as you swing down, it goes to seem to block, but you're too fast. And you feel a solid connection with the jaw, and we have a close-up freeze frame of your fist just colliding with the jaw. And then we miss the next few frames as that fast as your fist follows through, and we watch Gustav's head snap down to the ground. His whole body goes with it, and it collides with the concrete, or rather the brick, so hard that you see it crack and depress into the ground itself. Vera, you see Gustav first, and then nanoseconds later, the other two follow, equally in pain, as they come colliding down into the ground.
No, you said he's bleeding?
Yeah, you resisted the frenzy check from last time. Because you went to 5 hunger, I'll make you roll it again.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to just offer you the chance for me to just frenzy and eat him anyways. Yeah, I mean...
Give into it?
Why not? There's nothing, in fact, that says in the Camarilla law that I can't say diablerize another kindred in time.
Yeah.
Lost to time. Only that I can't do it in our actual time. So this is an opportunity in the moment that Vera's beast kind of sees. It's kind of... Yeah, I'm going to just... Why not?
So, before we go to that, it's he gets his round in the round first. And while he doesn't get up, and Gustav / Catherine, whenever, looks on the ground, Catherine looks from the ground while their head is like still on the concrete, Robert. Catherine's eyes, Catherine looks to you. And as she looks at you, she says, "Help me, child." And I need you to make me a resistance check here.
Ooh.
1, 2, only 3 successes. Not great. You could spend a willpower and re-roll 3 of those if you'd like.
I will.
So I'll with minimum 2 successes added, probably closer to 3. And I rolled, what was it? 1, 2. So even if you the lowest successes you tie, which means you win. There's a moment where you feel your blood betray you, where there's a loss of your ability to move quickly. There's a loss of your ability to hold steady. For just under a second, it feels like there's strings attached to you. Blood veins seem to pull. And when she asks you for help, you look to Max, and the thought briefly crosses your mind of putting a bullet in his head. But you realize, as you have in the past, that pull of your sire is long broken, and you are clear-headed just as quickly as you are seemingly overtaken. She attempted to dominate you with one of her then true Toreador-like abilities, rather. However, you resisted. That's her turn. Now we are back to top of the combat. So what are the 3 of you going to do? And I'll start with Robert. Are you going to put another bullet?
I'm putting another bullet in her. What is this devilry? And I know it's not her. Not that I care.
Yeah, all right, well, that'll be your round. You see Gustav's not getting up, Max, right now. He looks like he's just on the ground bleeding out.
And I didn't hear him say, "Help me, child," to Robert.
Nope. Okay. No, you did not hear that. Nope. And Vera, you see Father just looking like he's still alive, but not great. Not looking great. Yeah, and you're going to ride the wave, which is what you're going to do. So I guess the only person I need to know is what Max is going to do.
Max will just continue, like, especially if it's still like the smirking Gustav face.
Sure, yeah.
You've seen Sin City, probably. You know the old Bruce Willis with the yellow
absolutely.
bastard on the...
Yep.
Yes. He's going to pound his face until it is no longer a face.
So we start with Robert then. Robert, make me your dexterity firearms check with an additional 1d10.
It's right there.
Oh, I saw it. And do you want to use a willpower, or would you like to stick with that?
Let me use one willpower. What, to roll 3?
3 more, yeah. Raw 3d10.
All right, well, I'm out of... This is my last willpower to use, unless we reset at some point.
Don't waste. Don't use it, because, you get more at the beginning of every session. But
okay.
So actually, you should have another one. Don't mark it. If you want to use a willpower, just go ahead and roll me 3d10, because you should have another one right now. You may not have it written down, that's all. And I only get, because he's on the ground, 1d10. I fail. So
I'm just going to use this.
Okay, so you had another. Yep, that works fine. So you had 3 successes total. And Robert, does he say anything when he feels that pull and is able to break free of it before putting a bullet in her, or does his response just a stoic glare as he pulls the trigger?
Yes, I say nothing. I don't want to be bewitched any further. I feel like my words could be used against me. So therefore, I just pull the trigger yet again.
And as the bullet flies forward and closes its distance, you see as it meets its mark in the center of the forehead, as blood spatters out behind her, hitting the ground and covering it. Now intermingling only in Vera's eyes with the blood of Gustav, who hasn't gotten up and did not move or react at all. But you see now the blood of Catherine intermingling with the blood of Gustav as Max ensures he dies, as he does go fucking ham as he crouches over it and starts beating him. But Father still looks to you as you decide, fuck it.
I'm going to eat him.
And you rush forward. Go ahead and give me a Dex Athletics or... technically it's Strength Brawl for grappling, but I'll say Dex Athletics is plenty good for this situation.
I only got... Yeah.
And as you rush forward, you beat me. I rolled I didn't roll any successes. So as you rush forward, you straddle over, holding, not straddle in a sexual way, but like, he's on the ground.
Oh no, at this point, for sure.
Yeah.
He wants to love me, he can give me his life.
Yeah, and so maybe you do. You give him that brief moment before, and you see in his face that joy, a true joy that arrives and is extinguished as you reach down, grab him by the neck with your fingers, your nails digging into his flesh, cocking his head to the side, and your fangs slide from your gums as you rip into his flesh and drink. And you know what? I will allow you to get down to 3 hunger. You do not get a soul. There is not a person here. But it's real enough blood that it actually does sate you down to 3. And as you pull back and let the blood kind of like, what trickles out down to his neck, our camera's what follows.
Oh, can I whisper something in his dead ear? Did he die?
Yeah, he's done.
Okay, great. I whisper in his very dead ear. Little secret. I love the taste of a serial killer.
And there's that he doesn't have a final breath as he's kindred, but as you say that and you kind of pull your head back, you go out of focus as our camera highly zooms in on a singular drop of blood that trickles down to his neck and hits and meets Brick, as it also meets with a pool of blood from the mush of a face that is Gustav. You've beat the fucking hell out of that smirk. There's nothing recognizable left. And Catherine, whose wide eyes just stare blankly upward as the bullet hole trickles blood. And as you all realize, they are all dead. And as that last drop of blood mixes with the other 3, the 3 bodies ash. Truly ash before you. And the ashes are quickly scooped up by a gust of wind. And you see the pool of blood congealed together. And it begins to move. It doesn't just sit and dry, but instead swirls clockwise, while other parts of it deep within the center of the pool counterclockwise. All until they form a symbol. And I will allow you to make me an intelligence occult roll if you'd like. And all 3 of you, if you'd like, you're welcome.
Okay, both of those dice are coming your way.
Whopping 1.
We love to see it. A 1 from Vera.
I think I stand up. I don't even care about the symbol. I think Vera takes a deep breath she doesn't need, and she says...
0 from Robert. He doesn't know either.
That was...
Max with 2? I will give you this. Dice. You've seen multiple different kinds of symbols before. that looks like blood sorcery. That looks like kindred magic. It doesn't look like a mage. It doesn't look like werewolf shit. It doesn't look like anything else. That's definitely blood magic.
Audibly, Max says, yeah, more blood magic bullshit, huh?
And as he says that, and the three of you do see each other, you all are kind of in the same room. Your vision, when the last one is killed, when you kind of pull your head back up from feeding, the world has smashed back together. There is only the pool of blood. The bodies are gone. The ash has been whisked away by a wind of unknown origin. And the three of you are sitting in the room. And Vera, as you turn your head, you notice that the picture once again has a figure in it. Max and Robert, for the first time, the painting at the foot of the bed in this clearly built for a kindred foyer was just a landscape prior. Now, it is a figure standing in the landscape, made to look relatively small, but what's interesting or perhaps confusing is no matter how hard you try, you can't focus on it. You can't see the details. You know the details are there, but just your eyes refuse to focus on whatever it is.
Huh. Well, I got to admit, Max says as he loudly cracks his knuckles, that was actually kind of therapeutic getting to turn Gustav's face in the mush.
I'd say it was better than sex, but maybe that's just me.
I assume each of you's dealt with some issues too, huh?
Yes. I got some target practice in, very least.
You don't get this beautiful without trauma, so...
Now what about this thing over here?
As you look at it, he says, fucking blood magic, and yeah, I guess it looks like blood magic, Vera and Robert, but, fucking Tremere are annoying. You don't deal with them very often.
Yeah, I kind of wish Duke was here. He might have more of a handle on this.
Are we in our time again? Do we feel like we're out of this weird in-between?
Do you, step outside real quick and, not outside, but quickly out the hallway, peek upstairs?
You know what? Wasn't there some Nosferatu that tried to chase me in the hallway that I outran? I open the door and I go, hello, I'm still here. Come catch me.
Yeah, that was in the era, 20s era. And as you say that and even listen, you actually also notice you completely lack the sound of construction. You do not hear anything.
Oh, it's quiet again. I close the door. We're back.
Yeah. I look around the room, see if anything, are there things that would be, say, more modern technology?
Give me a wits investigation, please. Sometimes Max rolls incredibly well on even the littlest dice. One success. You don't really need to find anything. Nope, not really. It seems to be almost identical to when you stepped into the 60s and the 20s for Vera.
Okay, well, I'll take your word for it, Vera. Where's Sean?
Great question. He ran when things got a little hairy.
Ah, shit. Well, that means he's probably back in, the whatchamacallit roaring 20s, right?
Well, the big question is, what's Sean's deep, dark, monstrous secret?
I assume he was going to be battling drug use.
Neither of you saw... Oh, my God, you're right. Did either of you see Duke?
No, I thought he was here with you.
Why, I
dropped by the hotel with Adelaide and Max Jr., and, well, I wanted to find you, so I dived right in,
Well, it was an accident, so on my behalf, so not really. But Robert, did you see Duke?
No, but you know who else Sean might be battling his good manners?
Oh. Well, it's going to be a long battle, then. Maybe we can...
The struggle is real, yeah.
Get, dinner together before he returns or something.
As... you kind of move to this conversation of what the fuck, where's Sean, whatever. It's all interrupted. You don't even get to the end of it before the door to this chamber that you're in, the same door that you entered from, opens. It doesn't open quietly. It's just very audibly open. And in steps a figure that isn't familiar. Not one of the bellhops that you are familiar with, but still wearing a uniform of the hotel itself. Their sunken cheeks and eyes seem to be kind of almost a little larger than his face. Not a Nosferatu, just a little bit off looking. You see, he wears neatly pressed clothing. His skin is kind of stretched taut over his bones. And he moves with a jerky, almost marionette-like movement. And he moves in with that jerky-like movement, cupping something in both of his hands that he carries in front of his chest. As he steps in, he looks to you, Vera, Max, and Robert, and then breaks eye contact with all of you and looks down to the ground and simply opens his clasped hand, presenting a little ring box.
Are you lost?
I think this must be for you, Vera.
I sure hope not. I've already eaten once today. I can't finish him off.
You would realize, too, he's breathing.
Are you lost?
He shakes his head no. Again, he's wearing the hotel uniform, and he's just presenting you the ring.
This
for us?
He nods his head yes.
Oh, God. I snatch it as if this is not the first time some man's offered me a ring box.
As you do, his hands lower immediately and he takes a step backward.
He steps back?
Just a step back to give you space. Not like he's like, oh, no.
I was like immediately thought explosive. I'm sorry. Continue, Mathis.
No, that's it. He takes a step back. He does not look up from his position at all. He keeps eye contact with the ground. What do you do, Vera? You take the ring box.
I looked at Robert and Max, and I said, well...
Like I said, I'm an let's see what happens next kind of guy, so...
So do you pop open the ring box?
I'm already married, I say under my breath as I open it.
What you open and see is a simple metal ring of a piece of tarnished silver, with its surface being smooth and very cool to the touch. It's got like an antique, almost ethereal quality to it, just like moonlight captured in metal is a weird, interesting way of putting it. You can almost see the moonlight within the metal, no matter where you have it. Obviously, you have no fucking moonlight down here. It's simple, unadorned, and it's allows the centerpiece to take prominence, which is the iconic Toreador rose. None would know that that's what that is, obviously, unless you were a kindred. And as you finger the ring around and maybe look on the inside, you do see an engraving on the inside. 2 initials, TB. TB. You may make me, all of you, academics intelligence check.
I can rouse again.
2 successes, though.
Hey, you know what? 2 successes. That's fucking hilarious.
Okay.
Incredible.
And Vera roused. Let's see.
Academics intelligence.
Risking getting to 4. Risking putting yourself at 4 again while there's a pool of blood on the ground is very risky, Vera.
Bestial failure.
Yeah, you don't have any idea at all. Max, you're the only one. It's because you're older. Again, you were looking at newspapers that seemed familiar around that time. TB.
Tuberculosis.
That's what I was thinking, Max. I was thinking tuberculosis.
You know what? With a bestial failure, that's exactly what you think. You're like, tuberculosis.
I agree with Max when he says it out loud. Yes, Max, exactly what I was thinking.
As you're verbally throwing ideas around in your mouth, Max. Oh, Timothy Blackstone, the guy who owned this place originally, the original creator.
And
he died of old age. At least that's what I was supposed. But this has a Toreador clan symbol on it. And now that you remember the name, that kind of matches the description of the guy that was everywhere all at once.
Well, Mr. Blackstone, I presume.
He holds the ring, and maybe that pieces it together for Robert and Vera. This is Mr. Blackstone, TB, T. Blackstone. You could be Theodore, Timothy, but yeah.
Well, it's not really my style. Obviously, Robert will have to wear it.
Yeah, well, this Toreador rose means it ain't for me, so, Robert?
Fine, but, the name Blackstone brings to mind magicians and charlatans and things of that nature.
So what, it's a magic ring?
I mean, let's find out!
It's not the craziest thing we've seen this evening.
There's a pretty good chance, considering there's that big blood magic, what do you call it, sigil? I never know how to pronounce that shit. There's some words that you read a lot, but you never say out loud. Anyhow, here you go, Robert.
Robert, you take the ring and you slide it onto your finger. Which finger do you put it on?
Well, I put it on my left ring finger.
Okay. As you slide it on, the gaunt figure who was staring at the ground, as you push it all the way down, and he looks up almost as though he noticed or detected that the ring was slid on. And he again gives a polite bow and actually speaks in a rather low voice, but seemingly bland and normal sounding for somebody who looks kind of almost like a walking corpse, though he breathes. My name is Mortimer Cribbs.
What? Mortimer what?
Cribbs.
Oh, I thought you said Mortimer Crypt.
That fucking...
And I thought to myself, is this some sort of Disney vampire movie?
We've gone that deep.
No. His Mortimer Cribbs, which means this is a story by Charles Dickens.
Exactly.
All right,
exactly.
And we are this is his crib. Got it.
He goes, it is good to have a new owner of the hotel after so many decades. And he gives a polite bow, looking to you, Robert, the one who slid the ring on.
Oh!
And after he says that, you hear, again, only you though, Robert, hear a cacophony of whispers, deafening you to any noise in this room. You even think maybe Vera or Max might have even said something, but you can't hear a damn thing. But instead of it lingering, it seems to be coalescing. almost like the best thing I can compare it to is like a Ghostbusters capture device, where it's getting all pulled into one sound, one area, where you are. And within a few moments, they all, that effect seems to finish as all the whispers are quiet. You look to the ring for a moment, and after Mortimer Cribbs says what he says, you simply hear in 100 different whispers, "What do you desire? What do you desire?"
Well, I desire for us all to be returned back to our normal time, but also I do not accept the responsibility of being the proprietor of this hotel.
You see, Robert is talking to no prompt, no question. He suddenly says these in response. And as there's maybe a look of confusion on Max and Vera's face, we'll go to black. And we'll come back next week with another episode. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Bye.